welcome the Tigers of Biddeford High School for an SMAA and Class B South League contest. Tonight's officiating crew, the chain crew, Chip Miller, Tim Miller, and Josh Stoll. Tonight's varsity officials, the referee, Michael Descatio, the umpire, Walter Phillips, the linesman, Paul Perry, the back judge, Michael Cook, the back judge, Steve Descatio, and the clock operator, John Coy. The spotter for the announcer this evening is Michael Atkins. Good luck, have fun, and enjoy tonight's game here at Deering High School. And now introducing on the far side of the field, head coach Steve Aloso, his staff, and the 2022 Biddeford High School varsity football squad. And on the near side of the field, introducing head coach Leon Smith, his staff, and the 2022 Deering High School varsity football squad. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would ask you to please rise as we honor America and those who defend her with the singing of our national anthem. The anthem will be sung for us this evening by Miss Emily Hanson.
Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Emily, that was fabulous. Thank you very much. Representing Biddeford at the coin toss are captains Colin Gregoire, Jordan Lakin, Antonio Taylor, and Bryson Wolfhart. Representing Deering are captains Dawson Waterman, Deshaun Lamore, Tavian Lochur, and Cristiano Silva. In honor of today's teacher appreciation, also representing Deering at the coin toss are Miss Noor and Miss Surway. kickoff and will do so at the south end of the stadium.
Hello and welcome to Deering High Varsity Boys Football versus Biddeford. Biddeford in white, Deering in purple. My broadcast partner Seth, who does play-by-play, will be here shortly. He is on a Zoom call for one of his college classes, and hopefully he'll be here quickly. There's your kickoff.
From the 8-yard line, this is Foley. Foley crosses the
And about the 23-yard line, and it is very, very windy up here, probably 30-40 mile an hour wind, so you're going to get a little bit of wind feedback, and we'll see how that goes. I will not be able to at this point until Seth gets here. He'll be able to take over the play-by-play, as I said, naming players. I'll do my best to run the camera here and let you know what's going on in the field.
First and 10. The Deering quarterback, number 5, Tavian Latour.
First play of the game for Deering. And
Marker. Illegal procedure.
first play is a penalty.
The 5-yard mark off will move the ball back to the 18-yard line. First and 15.
And I believe that Deering comes into this game 0-3, and Biddeford is 2-1. And you'll be happy to know that my broadcast partner Seth is just getting here, so you will be way more informed than I can do while running the camera. So hold on, we'll get caught up. Second play of the game.
Jack Garrett, the ball carrier. The initial contact by Biddeford's Cooper Fournier.
And so it's going to be second and 16.
Yard line. Second and 16.
So we've had a 5-yard penalty and a 1-yard loss on a play. So this is a kind of a tough start here for Deering. And it's going to be very windy to throw the ball here today.
Loture. Tavian Loture.
And is that a flag down? Yes. That could be a Huss caller. Probably a.
Tackle was by Ivan Ramos.
So we've had 3 or 4 plays and 2 penalties.
There are apparently 2 penalties on the
Two
play.
penalties.
Against Deering. A face mask against Biddeford. We will replay second down. The penalties nullify one another.
Penalties offset. So we had a face mask and a holding. And we've only had a minute 4 run off on the clock here.
Loture's pass is intercepted.
Interception. Run back to the 22 for Biddeford. Yeah, the wind is blowing in that direction. And once Latour threw that ball up, the wind just brought it right back to the Biddeford player. The Deering player looked like he could have been open, but it's going to be difficult to throw anything long in this game into the wind.
The 22-yard line, a 16-yard return. Biddeford was with the ball.
And so this will be the first play for Biddeford of this game. And Seth, welcome back.
Yes.
And I did explain to everybody they're going to hear a lot of wind through these microphones, and we're going to do our best to speak a little louder than the wind. But I don't know. If I put wings on right now, I'd probably fly pretty well. And so Biddeford's first try at the ball in great field position.
Ramos getting the touchdown. So it's a 21-yard touchdown by Ivan Ramos.
Wow, and just like that, Deering is down. 10:31 left to go in the first quarter.
And it looks like they're going to go for 2. It's Gregory on the Wildcat. It's Gregoire.
And it looked like he reached across, but they're saying his knee was down first. So the 2-point conversion is no good.
And so Deering will be down 6-0 after an interception.
Yeah, that's a tough start for Deering. I think tonight, going in the direction that Deering's going, it's got to be short passes. If you're going to throw the ball. Well, plus
Deering will let it roll into the end zone.
Deering will put the ball into play, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
And so now we'll see what Deering can do again. I mean, the first play of the ball game, Seth, you weren't here, was a 5-yard penalty for Deering. And that got him into a quick hole. And then that first play, actual play, they lost a yard. So let's see if they can start off here just a little bit better. I mean, penalties are never a good thing, especially when you're on your own side of the field.
It's a handoff to Karen.
I mean, Darren is very capable to get this 6 points back. They're just going to have to place a perfect ball to get to that point.
The game is 3 yards out to the 23-yard line. 2nd and 7.
So it was a 3-yard gain, so it's 2nd and 7. LaChore handing it off to Karen. He runs to the right and is a yard or two shy of the first down. So it's going to be 3rd and 2.
Another good run. I mean, Darren has a couple of good runners on the team, so it's just a matter of getting some good blocking, open up a few holes, and pick up these 2 yards, and they can keep going.
Especially the side that they're on, they're throwing into the wind.
Yeah.
So it's a handoff to Karen. Karen to his right. And he gets the first down to the 35.
So there we go.
So it was a gain of 7.
And I have to say, I'm very thankful that this game is starting at 6. With this wind, the cold weather, first really cold weather game so far. The sun's still up a little bit, and I don't mind the cold, but it may take a week or two to get used to it.
And LaChore running to his left, throws it, and it's incomplete.
Wow.
Intended for Lomby.
And you could see LaChore trying to tell him to go down the field.
Lochure's pass intended for Pedro Lombi is incomplete.
Yeah, it's one of those things where once the wind whips, that ball is not going to go too far down the field.
Yeah, you know, maybe
Second and 10.
not playing coach here, but maybe if he would have just come back to where the first down marker was, he could have had a good shot at catching the ball there on a throw in front of the defender. So
LaChore passes it out wide to
Lochure's pass complete to Zade Smith.
it was to Zade Smith.
Pass completion. Lochore to Smith, good for a gain of 2 yards to the 37.
No, it looked like number 11, Ezekiel Dewweaver.
So 8 yards to go. This is going to be tough. But if they can get someone just over the marker and throw the ball.
Karen, and he's still going, but he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. So it's a loss of 1. And it's going to be 4th down.
So I would say at this point, with the wind blowing the direction they're going with a little under 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter, Darren's got to keep Biddeford out of the end zone so they can flip and get the wind in their direction. And now let's hope they don't get a delay of game here. They were waiting on a play to come in. They were one player short. It's got to be a low kick. Drive it.
And it's blocked. And it's going to be recovered by
number 66, Jameson Worthley.
Biddeford.
Worthley also recovered.
Number 66.
That is Jameson Worthley.
Well, it needed to be a line drive, which it was, but it needed to be just a hair quicker because anything up in the air, it was only going to go probably just straight up and backwards with this wind. But unfortunately, it got blocked. So Biddeford again with great field position.
Oh, Driscoll, and it's almost picked off by LaChore.
You know, and I mean, Biddeford, you know, I'm not saying they didn't have to work for the field position, but they've been given some good field position. I mean, they did work for it. They intercepted and they blocked a punt.
So Driscoll by himself hands it off to Ramos, and he gets stopped. It was a gain of 3.
Jack Karen on the stop for Deary.
This is a huge play here, 3rd and 8.
Gain on the play of about a yard to the 9-yard line. 3rd and goal.
Oh,
And Karen jumps off sides. So it's going to be a half the distance to the goal. And it's going to be an automatic first down. Or
no, it's just going to be a little shy.
Offside against Deary.
3rd and 4.
so in high school they must not give first downs. Driscoll tosses it to Gregoire, and he's in. So the dive is over the line.
Touchdown run by Biddeford running back Colin Gregoire.
So Colin Gregoire makes it 12-0 Biddeford on a 5-yard carry.
Biddeford will go for 1.
And they're going to attempt the extra point.
Just have to watch out for the fake. but they got the wind, so it should be fairly easy.
O'Driscoll, and it's good. So the PAT makes it 13-0 with 5 minutes and 53 seconds left to go in the first quarter. And we'll take a timeout. And we're back. Biddeford having to hold, and it was picked up by Foley.
Yeah, went through the hands of the up person, and which kind of wobbled the ball, and Foley had an initial hard time picking it up, and so
The Rams will put the ball in play 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line.
and so I believe this is their third go at it, and this has been, I think, their best field position, the 25. 5:45 left to go in the first quarter. Biddeford 13, Daring 0.
LaChore in shotgun. Takes off, but he's going to get sacked by number 4. That's Caden Noonan.
Yeah, Noonan was not fooled on that one.
Loss on the play of 4 yards.
So that's a loss of 4, so it's going to be a 2nd and 14.
Have 2nd and 14.
It's on the 21-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to have to try something different. I don't know what that would be. Like I said, I'm not a coach. But
And it's Cavallero
Santino Cavallaro.
on the carry, but it goes back a yard. So it's going to be 3 and 15.
yeah, that's tough. They have had long yardage on the first 2 drives, and now on the third drive.
Loss of a yard on the play, back to the 20-yard line, where the Rams will have 3rd and 15.
So they're going to have 3rd and 15 on the 20-yard line. It's going to be a throw. And it's tipped.
Oh,
Intended for Lombi.
Intended for Pedro Lombi, incomplete.
and you know, that play, the next time they do it, they're going to hit it. That was great. That's exactly what they needed to do. They needed to keep the ball low so it didn't float, and they needed to just be over the line of scrimmage, which it was. And so we'll see the next time. That was a good attempt.
The punt for 0.
And it's going to take a sideways bounce, and it's going to be stopped at the 46-yard line of Deering with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in this first quarter.
Yeah, that was a good punt. He got that off a little bit quicker this time. The blocking was really good. One guy got in but didn't get the ball, and so, you know, Biddeford now is going to start their drive a little bit further than what they've been fortunate to get the first couple of drives.
O'Driscoll hands it off to Ramos, and it's only a gain of 3.
Yeah. You know, and Dare's defense can stiffen here and hold them. You know, when you're down inside the 20, it's tough
It's
sometimes.
a quick play. It's a throw, and wide open is Caden Catarat.
Well, that's the benefit of the wind right there. You see the difference. Throwing in this direction for Biddeford compared to what LaChore's got to throw into. And that ball took off. That could have just been a run right in.
O'Driscoll, and it was intended for
Intended for Bryson Wolfhart, incomplete.
Bryson Wolfhart,
Jack Tarrant
and he looked like he was just one Deering player over on that side.
second and goal from the Deering 8-yard line.
So Deering lucks out on that one. It's a handoff to Gregoire, and Gregoire is going to dive in. And so Colin Gregoire gets his second touchdown of the game. It's a 8-yard carry.
An 8-yard touchdown run by Biddeford running back Colin Gregoire.
And so that puts Deering in a 19-0 hole.
Pending a extra point.
And the kick is up, and it is good. So Patrick O'Driscoll makes it 20-0 Biddeford. And we'll take a timeout before the kickoff. And we're back. So Patrick O'Driscoll is going to take the kickoff. So he's the kicker and the quarterback. It's going to be picked up by Foley. And he's going to be taken out at the 28.
Yeah, this is so you know Deering's getting better field position each drive. This is their fourth drive, and let's see what happens.
LaChore in shotgun. Hands it off to Karen, and Karen's going to get stopped just behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the Deering line, they're not making any holes for the runner.
Well, it also doesn't help that they're throwing into the wind, so Biddeford has an easier time at reading what the play is going to be.
Right, and they can keep everybody up on the line. I mean, unless they can start running that ball on the outside, they're going to have a difficult time running it up the gut.
LaChore drops back. It's a screen to it's Dom Bixler on the reception.
Seth, I don't know how you're holding onto that clipboard and the sheets of paper and the binoculars and the headphones, but
well, it's what we have to do to get these games, especially in the wind. It's a handoff to Bixler, and it's not going to be, there's going to be no gain on the play. And so Deering will have another punt.
And really what they need to do is they need to hold, the clock is still going, there's a minute and a half left to go, and they need to hold Biddeford back on this possession until they can flip the field.
And the winds died down a little bit, and it's going to be picked up by Caden Catarat and taken to the 45 of Biddeford with a minute and 8 seconds left to go in this first quarter.
Yeah, and you know, Deering's moving the ball a little, so Biddeford has to start a little further back than what they have been. And like I said, there's 1:08 left to go in this first quarter, and they really need to keep Biddeford from. They need to stop them from scoring again.
O'Driscoll hands it off to Ramos, and there's going to be a flag on the play, and we'll see what it is.
Probably holding. Well, let's see.
It's a holding on Biddeford, so it's going to be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. So it's going to be a first and 11.
Yeah. Well, that's the first mistake by Biddeford here.
Under a minute to go in this first quarter. O'Driscoll and the shotgun. Two running backs. He drops back. It's a throw to Gusto. And it's going to be a gain of 3. 30 seconds left. We'll see if Biddeford wants to get another playoff where they're going to be switching sides of the field.
Yeah, and you have to be real careful, Deering, that it's not going to be another long shot down the field.
And it looks like they are going to run another play. It's going to be a handoff to Ramos, and there's going to be another flag, and it's going to be on Biddeford. And it's another holding. So 2 holding penalties just on this drive.
10 yards from the spot of the foul.
And so it was on the 49. So it's...
Yeah, there was a discussion on whether they were going to decline it or not. And, you know, if you think about it, they'll be going into the wind. Well, I don't know. There's still, unless the clock starts. The clock may start, so Biddeford may want to line up quick and try to get a play. There goes the clock. They're not going to get a play off.
And the horn sounds for the end of the first quarter. And the score after 1 is Biddeford 20 and Deering nothing. And we're back for the start of the second quarter. And it's going to be a false start.
Wow.
So 3 penalties just on one drive.
I mean, holy smokes. It's like, what happened to that Biddeford team on the first 3 drives that scored?
And it's going to be a drop back by O'Driscoll. It's a throw, and it's going to be a pick by Bixler. So Dom Bixler gets the turnover for Deering, and Biddeford's going to have to learn what Deering learned in the first quarter, that it's going to be really tough to throw in this wind.
Yeah, I mean, he threw it pretty hard. In the first quarter, when he threw it for all that yardage for that pass, he attempted the same thing, but yeah, you're right. He learned what Darren learned, and now we'll see what Darren can do.
And as long as this wind holds in the same direction, Deering will have the fourth quarter in going with the wind.
Well, and Darren had to call a timeout, and I think the issue was they didn't, again, for the second time this game, they didn't have enough players on the field. They had 10, and someone was coming in late, and they needed to have the right amount of players.
And so with 11 minutes and 50 seconds left to go, it's Biddeford 20, Deering nothing. And we're back. We'll see what Deering will do on their first drive going with the wind. And LaChore drops back, and it's Dennis. And he made a couple of tacklers miss. So it's a gain of 5.
Well, and that should be a little confidence booster, you know, because just to know you can throw the pass and it's not going to get, you know, held up because of the wind. And so they're moving in the right direction here.
So LaChore with Joey Foley to his left. Foley, and he gains 1 yard on the run.
Yeah, maybe right back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it looks like right back to the line of scrimmage. So there was no gain, so it's going to be 3rd and 5 for Deering.
Well, and they should feel good here because they have the wind and just a little dump-off pass. They got to get the 5 yards. You know, we'll take 5 yards and a foot.
And it looks like Santiago Cavallero in shotgun. And it's a quarterback keep, and it's only going to be a gain of 1. Oh, they're saying, Biddeford's saying that it was a fumble, but I believe it was forward progress.
Well, and maybe what they thought was a fumble, the play is coming off with like a little fanny pack thing that they wear around their waist. So maybe they thought that was the ball being fumbled. So with the wind here, they should get a good punt off.
It's going to be a punt, and it's going to be a long one, and it's going to take a Deering bounce to the 6-yard line. And so this will be Biddeford's worst field position to start on a drive.
Yeah, and knowing that they can intercept the ball too, but they really got to watch out for the run because, you know, Biddeford had some good runs in the first quarter, and, you know, they're capable of moving this ball on the ground.
And it's a run by Ramos. Ramos getting the first down.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
To the 23-yard line.
And, you know, I think Biddeford's going to get back to basics and run the ball. I mean, they have a 20-0 lead. They really don't need to chuck the ball up into the wind.
And it's another run by Ramos. It's a gain of 5. So it's 2nd and 5.
Oh.
And it's going to be a false start. It looked like an early jump by Jake Samalov.
Illegal procedure, a false start against Biddeford. The infraction moves the ball back to the 24-yard line.
So it's going to be a 2nd and 9.
Biddeford will have 2nd and 9.
Oh.
And it looks like Deering having too many men on the field.
You know, and Tom Brady would have had that ball hiked and get 5-yard penalty.
It's a run by Gregoire.
Colin Gregoire, the ball carrier.
And that was a gain of 5.
Carries Archie Rubin. Gain is out to the 30-yard line. Third and
There's a
2.
gain of 6.
Well, and you know, with this running game too, the clock is moving. So this game's moving along fairly quickly. Of course, now that I say
It's
that,
a handoff to Ramos, and Ramos gets the first down for Biddeford. It's a gain of 7.
well, and the bad part for Deering is Biddeford's not giving them any chance with the ball go with the wind at their back. They're
And it's
using
a
up a lot.
toss to Ramos. Ramos cuts back, and he stays up, and he finally gets tackled.
Tim Callahan again on the stop for Deering. The gain is out to the 39-yard line, a pickup of 2.
And I think we had a cheering section for the Darren player that did the tackle. Could hear him down below.
It's a handoff to Ramos, and Ramos gets stopped in the backfield.
Ramos stopped
By
for the gain.
Deshaun Lamore on the tackle.
I mean, Deeren is capable to dig out of this hole, but they really need to make a good stop here.
And it's a handoff to Gregoire, and Gregoire stays up, and it's again another tackle by Deshaun Lamore.
Wrapped up for no gain by Deshaun Lamore.
And we'll see what Biddeford does.
Well, I'll tell you,
Spot the ball on the Biddeford 38.
I'm hoping they go for the punt, because
And it looks like they are.
yeah,
It's going to be a punt.
Punting for Deering, Patrick for Biddeford, Patrick O'Driscoll.
And it's going to hit the wind. And it's going to be touched at the 42.
20-yard punt from scrimmage with no return.
So Deering will have the ball at the 42 with 5 minutes and 16 seconds left to go in this half. It's Biddeford 20, Deering nothing. And we're back.
2-yard line, first and 10 Rams.
Mature dropping back, having to run to his left, throws it, and it's complete to Bixler.
The pass is complete to Dom Bixler. Driven out of bounds on the far sideline by Bryson Wolfhart.
there's a flag on the field.
And it's going to be a holding on Deering. And that's not how you want to start this drive if you're Deering.
Wow. And it's from the spot of the foul, and now it's going to be first and a boatload. Like first and 25. Oh gosh. First and 26.
And it's going to be LaChore running to his left. And he's going to get 4 yards back. So it's going to be a second and 22 on the 30. 4 minutes left to go in this half.
And the wind is really picking up now.
LaChore has to take off, and he's going to be tackled for a gain of 1. And so it's going to be a 3rd and long for Deering.
Biddeford's coming to him. Gain of 2 yards to the 32-yard line. 3rd and 20.
And there is a very large student body here for Deering on this crisp fall breezy evening.
LaChore hands it off to Santino Cavallero.
Oh,
And so we'll see if Deering goes for it.
and let's see if they,
No, they're going to bring out their punt team.
yeah, you know, and I hate to say it, but I think that's a smart move. It's too short of a field with the way Biddeford's been moving the ball. You know, maybe if it was on the other side, on the 47 on the other side, they might have, but too much time on the clock, unfortunately for Deering.
And it was almost blocked. And it's going to take a Deering bounce. It's going to be picked up. It was
Driven out of bounds on the far sideline, past the 20-yard line. Tim
Well.
Callahan on the kick coverage for Deering.
Well, Biddeford made the best out of that one. Picked it up and gained what, 10 yards?
So it was Caden Catarat on the punt return.
On the 23-yard line.
And they got 2 minutes and 14 seconds.
It's a handoff to Ramos. Ramos getting a block, and it's going to be a penalty.
Ramos with a marker on the field.
Yeah, chances are it's going to be a hold.
Joey Foley.
And the unfortunate part about that one is that it was away from the runner.
Indication of holding against Biddeford.
So it's a holding against Biddeford.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for them. I mean, fortunate for Deering, but
Yeah, Ivan Ramos has been running all over Deering's defense.
yeah, he's the big kid with speed. And so they really need to be careful. I mean, that was a big, huge run that they, you know, got called back.
First and 14.
It's going to be O'Driscoll in shotgun, and it's fumbled. And there's going to be a face mask penalty on Deering. So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty.
And is that automatic first down?
Yeah, it's going to be a first down because it was a 1st and 14.
Oh, so they would have it anyway, even.
So it's going to be, they're going to move the chains. Oh,
No.
it should be more.
Moves the ball out to the 29-yard line.
No, then it's not a. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Well,
First and 10.
now
It's
the chain
Ramos with the run, and he gets taken down.
So we had the sideline.
Jack Perrin on the
And we have an injured player. And looks like, no, he's still down, and so we'll take a timeout. And we're back. So it was Santiago Cavallero injured, but he walks off with his own power. He's somewhat limping, but he didn't need any help getting off the field, so that's good. It's a run by Gregoire, and there's going to be a penalty. It could be block in the back.
Yeah.
No, it's a holding on Biddeford.
Wow. Since that first drive, I don't know what happened to the Biddeford team. We got a totally different team here.
Ball is fired on the 33-yard line. 2nd and 6.
I mean, they don't have a lot of yards to go, so
Driscoll drops back, and it's going to be to Ramos. Ramos getting blocks and finally taken down by Leave Morse.
and you couldn't have played a better screenplay than that. That was beautiful.
And so it will be a first down. It was a 16-yard gain,
And it's good for a Biddeford first down.
and the clock is running.
The Tigers from their
I mean,
Under a minute to go.
he had a wall of blockers.
It's going to be a throw. It's Augusto,
pass complete.
and he's going to go out of bounds, so that's going to stop the clock. It was a gain of 12.
Sideline.
Well, you know, and as I said, what happened to that Biddeford team on the first 3 drives, I guess they must have found them,
Completion 13
because they've had a couple of good plays here.
8-yard line. First down, Biddeford.
Oh, Driscoll in shotgun with Ramos on his left. Driscoll, and it pops out of Gregoire's hands, but it hits the ground with a couple of Deering defenders in the area. So with 27 seconds left to go, it's going to be a 2nd and 10 on Deering's 38.
For Biddeford from the Deering 38.
It's 20-0 Biddeford.
And they're taking their time getting the play in. I mean, the clock is not running. Nope. Maybe they just had to wait for the ref to set the ball.
Oh, Driscoll drops back, throws it, and it's intercepted by Bixler. So Don Bixler has his 2nd interception.
Intercepted by Deering's Don Bixler.
So we'll see what Deering can do with 20.8 seconds left to go in the first half, being down by 20.
Well, I mean, the Darren defense now is stiffened a little bit. Couple of picks. Yeah, I don't know what they'll do here. I mean, they could potentially try to go for a couple of Hail Marys with the wind in their backs. So let's see.
Deering with a couple timeouts left. It's LaChore. He's going to run to his left. It's going to be a throw, and it was intended for Jamison Dennis. And so it'll be 2nd and 10 with 11 seconds left to go.
Well, could always try it again.
And like I said, they do have 2 timeouts. So if you can get something to the 50 with a couple seconds left and then get another playoff, you could have a chance for a Hail Mary with this wind. LaChore has to get rid of it.
Oh, he throws it up.
And is it?
Well, I don't know how you could call that intentional grounding. He had a person on him, and he threw the ball up, and you know, I think he was being hit by the other player. So, but that was dangerous. if there was a Biddeford player around that ball being chucked up like that, they could have run it in with no one to stop them.
And so 2 seconds left to go in this first half.
And the thing is, well, I don't know. If they would have taken a knee and try to run the clock out, Biddeford could call a quick timeout. It's third down.
It's going to be a handoff to it was Cavallero on the carry, but the horn sounds for the end of the first half, and so Biddeford up 20-0 over Deering. It was touchdowns by, it was a 21-yard touchdown run by Ivan Ramos and 2 touchdowns by Colin Gregoire, a 5-yard touchdown run and an 8-yard touchdown run. And it was a missed 2-point conversion, and so that's why it's 20. And it was 2 successful PATs.
Well, and the thing is, the points that Biddeford have, they had short field on, and they had the wind, and there was, and so when you got a short field and you got some pretty quick runners, and they scored by hitting the pylon, so it's not like they ran it up the gut on 2 of them, and so this is tough for Deering. They don't have a big hole to climb out of either. They've had moments where they've really put it together well, but then they've had some penalties. And, when you have penalties and a block punt, they had a block punt when they had the wind, when Biddeford had the wind to their back, which, helped out. So it's been tough, but like I said, Deering has a good opportunity.
And so that's the end of the first half, and Deering will receive the kickoff to start the second half, but they will be going back into the wind for the third quarter. And so we'll see what Deering does to make adjustments. And it's 20-0 Biddeford over Deering, and we'll be back for second half action. And we're back for the second half. So Biddeford is receiving and not Deering.
Kicking off for Deering, Carlos Marco.
It's going to be a long kick, and it's going to roll into the end zone. It was Caden Catarat who watched it go out of bounds or into the end zone.
Well, let's see what Darren comes up with defensively, because we know Biddeford's, been able to move the ball on the ground. They've had a difficult time through the air, but on the ground they've been pretty good.
And there's a whistle.
All right, now they're ready, settled in.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 on the 20. It's Ramos getting 3 yards on the play.
Well, and it looks like Biddeford's going to go to that player quite a bit. So, Darren's got to cheat a little bit up on the line with their defensive players, but they still have to be careful because, Biddeford's not afraid to throw the ball.
O'Driscoll hands it off to Gregoire, still going, and finally taken down on the 30. So, and it's going to be called a first down.
Wow. I mean, he he had some moves on him to get up through there. He weaved through the Deering defense. So
O'Driscoll hands it off to Ramos. Ramos getting a gain of 7 on the play.
So it looks like they're planning on mixing it up a little bit between a power runner and a speed runner. And now they move number 3 out. They got to watch out for the run up the gut.
O'Driscoll, it's a keep up the middle, still going, and finally taken down by Jamison Dennis.
Yeah, as soon as I saw number 3 come out of the backfield, that's what I was afraid of. They were going to run the ball up the gut.
And Biddeford, with a 20-0 lead, is just content with running the ball, especially in this wind. It's Ramos, and it's a gain of 4.
And a cheering section over here for Santino Cavallaro.
So it's a 2nd and 5. It's a handoff to Ramos, and he's going to get the first down and more. And he's taken out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Corbin Burke on the defensive play for Deering. The gain is to the 27-yard line, a gain of 15.
And I think you're right, Seth. I think they're going to be content with just playing ground and pound.
It's a handoff, and it's in the backfield. Gregoire was the running back.
Yeah, no gain there, but time is running. 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Biddeford leading 20-0.
So under 9 minutes to go. It's a 2nd and 10. O'Driscoll throws it. It was intended for Ivan Ramos.
Wow. And Ramos, if they had connected, Ramos had so much room to run. It would have been an easy first down. But he just threw it a little too hard. You know, they're going into the wind, so, you know, maybe that just the air caught the ball a little bit, but Ramos had so much running room if he had connected with him.
And Biddeford's done a great job at not allowing Deering to have the wind. It's a throw, and it was
Intended for Caden Cataract, incomplete.
It was Caden Cataract
Jack Perrin on the pass coverage for Deering.
on the intended receiver.
Have fourth down, 10 yards to go.
So
For the Deering 20.
it's going to be 4th down and 10.
And at this point, on the 27, they might as well go for it. I mean, it's about where Deering's been starting this whole game, inside the 30. So whether they get it or not, Deering's got a long way to go.
So throw, it's out to Wolfhart.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be well short.
8 yards to the 19-yard line. The stop by 22, Joey Foley. Deering holds the
And so it's going to be a turnover on downs.
19-yard line.
Well, I mean, it was worth the try for Biddeford, and Deering's inside the 20, a long way to go, but they got the wind, and they have to take advantage of it.
LaChore throws it. It's to Bixler. Bixler gets a block, and he gets pushed out of bounds by Augusto.
Don Bixler,
And Augusto looks,
Jaden Augusto on the defensive play for Biddeford.
Gusto looks like he got the wind knocked out of him, or
Low short to Bixler, out to the
Well,
28-yard line.
unless he's,
Second
well, let's see.
and 1.
Before I say anything, let's see how this play rolls out.
it's LaChore. He throws it. It's intended for Jamison Dennis, and it just a little too far, and Dennis had to turn around and fall backwards to try to catch that.
Yeah, that was one of those 50-50 balls. Just chuck it up there and see who jumps the highest and catches it. You know, fortunately it dropped harmlessly.
So it's going to be a 3rd and 1 for Deering.
And you know, they only got 1 yard to go for a first down. That's manageable, so they took a chance.
LaChore is going to take off,
Oh.
and he gets stopped behind the line of scrimmage. And looks like LaChore is down. And it's going to be a 4th down.
Antonio Taylor on the stop.
And LaChore gets up, so
And he's holding his back.
yeah, that was an awkward tackle.
Yeah.
Him trying to cut around the defender, but there was another one there. It's going to be a punt. It's going to be low, and it's going to be on the 44 to start for Biddeford.
Yeah, they're going to have great field position here. This is really, Deering really is going to have to step it up. And so there's 7:43 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Biddeford leading 20-0, and in great field position here.
It's a handoff to Gregoire. And the name of the game is just keep the ball away from Deering and run the clock out.
Gregoire's gain, 5 yards to the 37. 2nd and 5.
It's a handoff to Ramos, and Ramos will only get a 2-yard gain. So Deering able to stop a couple of these runs.
Well, and if they don't get the first down, I'm almost thinking they're going to go for it again.
O'Driscoll drops back, runs to his right, and it's caught by Catarat. And that will be a first down with 7 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter.
The pass completion carries to the 28-yard line. It's good for Biddeford, first down.
Ball's going to be on the 28.
The Tigers from the field.
It's a 1st and 10. It's a throw. It's to Gregoire. And it's going to be
The pass completion
Cavallero
to Gregoire.
on the tackle.
Good for a gain of
Well, and, you know, going into the wind, Biddeford's not afraid to throw the ball up.
Foley again on the defensive stop.
And Patrick O'Driscoll is a senior. So
Ramos
Ramos on the carry shrugs one defender off and runs through two more. But yeah, Patrick O'Driscoll is a senior, so he's been in a football program in high school for 3 full seasons, and so this will be his 4th. Not sure if it's all with Biddeford, but you can definitely tell that he's a senior.
Well, and the other thing too is, I think the difference is someone. So there is a timeout, and we'll take a timeout.
And we're back from the Deering timeout.
And so as I was beginning to say, someone was telling me that that Portland, the city of Portland, doesn't really have a youth football league anymore, and I believe Biddeford does. So, you know, they got a pretty good system set up for younger players to come up through and be prepared to play high school ball. So, you know, I don't know if that's true or not in Portland, not having a feeder system for football, but it would be tough.
So O'Driscoll hands it off to Ramos, and he's going to just cross the goal line for the touchdown. So a 4-yard touchdown run by Ivan Ramos. Making it his 2nd in this game.
Well, and they're going to go for the field goal, the extra point attempt into the wind.
And it's going to be good.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's going to be 27-0 Biddeford. And so we'll be back for the kickoff. And we're back. Wind has picked up, as you can see on the extra point. It's out of the hands of Dawson Waterman.
I mean, with this wind, it's really difficult to get a good read on where that ball's going to go, because it could flood it to the left, flood it to the right, and then the next thing you know, you go in to grab it, and you see what happens. It gets muffed.
And so Taylor Chore will be in shotgun. And LaChore is only a sophomore, so if he continues to play football, he'll be in this program for 2 more years. He also is the shortstop for the Deering baseball team, and so he is a multi-sport athlete. And you can tell that, especially at shortstop, you got to have an arm, so it makes sense that he's the quarterback for Deering.
Yeah, we got to see him play quite a bit this past baseball season when he was a freshman, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Karen. It was Cavallero, actually, on the carry. And it's going to be a gain of 1. And looks like Deering is going to have some changes. Yeah, I mean, Deering's roster is pretty young in terms of grade.
But the good thing I will say, it's been a few years since we've covered Deering due to the pandemic, but their numbers look pretty good compared to, you know, the year or so prior to the pandemic when they had low numbers. And so that's pretty encouraging. And like you said, they have young players who, you know, will get used to getting some playing time, and as they mature, it's good. It'll be good for Deering.
It's going to be a throw by LaChore, and it's Bixler on the catch.
Wow.
And so running through some of their players, LaChore is a sophomore. Santiago Cavallero is a sophomore. Joey Foley is a freshman. Dom Bixler is a freshman. And so some of their offensive players in the starting lineup are freshmen and sophomores. And so they'll be around for at least 2 more seasons after this one all together. It's Karen, and it's a fumble.
Oh, they blew the whistle quickly before it was settled, but Deering did recover the ball, thankfully.
It was Jack Karen, who is a junior, so he'll be playing as a senior next year.
Yeah, so I think the Deering team's going to be in good hands here as these kids, you know, play as a team and grow together. You know, it's been a little tough this season, but, you know, everything's a learning experience as you go.
LaChore drops back. He's going to throw, and it's intended for Bixler, and it was a little too far in front of him. It would have been a nice one-handed catch if he got it. And so it will be a 3rd and 10.
And I mean, I would have to guess at this point where they are. If they don't get a first down, they probably will go for it, maybe.
It's going to be a throw, and it's going to be picked off. It's by number 7, Samoylov.
And number 71 for Deering just got his fingers jammed. And he's over there trying to shake it off. Hopefully his hand is okay.
And so 1 minute and 58 seconds left to go. It's Biddeford 27, Deering nothing on that turnover. It's going to be on the 45. It's Ramos. It's only going to be a gain of 1.
And that was a good play, but even better for the Deering defense. They stayed home. They didn't take the bait that he was going to throw the pass and back up a little bit. They stayed right on the line. So that was a good heads-up play.
But the clock is not Deering's friend. It's going to be a throw by O'Driscoll. It was to Colin Gregoire. No. It was Caden Cataract.
Joey Foley on the stop for Deering.
Sometimes those 7 and the 1 look the same on these jerseys.
48-yard line, where Biddeford will have 3rd and 5.
It's going to be a toss to Ramos,
The ball is carried.
and it's going to be a 4th down. It was only a gain of 1,
First contact by Deering's Joey
and so
Foley.
it's 35 seconds left to go.
And I think
They're going to have to get a playoff
No gain on the play.
because
Biddeford
I don't know. They may have enough time to kill this clock,
48-yard line.
or they'll just wait till there's like a second or two before they punt it.
Punter is number 7, Jake
I think they
Samoa.
got like 40 seconds.
Deep for Deering.
and
They are content to just let it run.
so the play clock must be a little longer in high school.
Yeah, I think it's
The score after 3 periods.
40, 45 seconds.
Deering nothing.
But anyway, it's the end of the 3rd quarter. It's Biddeford 27, Deering nothing. And we're back for the start of the 4th quarter. It's going to be,
Oh, offsides maybe?
it's blocked. I believe the ball was blocked.
Baylock's punt out of bounds on the near sideline.
No, that was perfect timing. It looked like the Darren player went over the line, but there is no flag.
Deering, 42-yard line. That is a 10-yard punt from scrimmage with no return. The Rams will put the ball in play 1st and 10 from their own. Correction, make it the 37-yard line. The punt was 15
So
yards.
going through some of their other players on Deering, Pedro Lombi is a junior, so he'll be on the team next year. Deshaun Lamore is a sophomore on the offensive line, and it's a false start.
The procedure, a false start against Deering. We'll move the ball back 5 yards.
Archie Rubin
Deering will have
is a
1st and
junior.
15 from their own 32.
Cristiano Silva is a sophomore. Vincent Cavallero is a freshman.
Jack Kern.
Karen on the carry.
Kern driven out of bounds on the near sideline. Initial contact by Biddeford's Bryson Wolfhart.
So basically, almost everybody on this starting team,
5-yard line.
they
2nd and 12.
they must not have too many seniors.
And Navon Hansen, the other offensive lineman, is a junior. So as long as all these players come back and play next year, they're all going to be on the team again. It's Cavallero on the carry, and it's going to be a 1st down. So what was a 2nd and 12 turned into a 1st down.
Sorry about that camera drawback. I have gloves on because it's so cold up here, and my finger got stuck on the zoom going backwards. So sorry to the runner of the ball there.
47.
It's going to be a handoff to Bixler.
Bixler,
Bixler getting tackled
John Bixler, the ball
by
carrier.
Wolfhart.
Bryson Wolfhart on the stop for Biddeford.
Well, I guess I could say one good thing about it being so cool tonight is we're not worried about mosquitoes. We have a little bit of marshy stuff behind us, and it was a feast of mosquitoes here covering soccer and a football game, so we don't have to deal with that tonight.
It's going to be fumbled by Karen on the exchange with LaChore. And so it's going to be a 3rd and 13 on the 50.
You know, and the only thing I could say is, you know, we're talking about the inexperience of this Deering team as far as, you know, playing at this level. And they'll gain that experience.
It's going to be a throw by LaChore. LaChore launches it, and it's going to be caught. He caught it. What a catch by Ezekiel Dewweaver.
Oh.
And they're going to say it was incomplete.
Oh.
So it was ruled incomplete.
Wow. We need VAR. Oh, wait a minute. That's soccer. That's the other football. We need instant replay.
So Carlos Mwako, one of the seniors on this Deering team. It's a low snap and just got it off in time. And it's going to roll. It's going to be on the 26-yard line with 8 minutes and 42 seconds left to go in this game. It's Biddeford 27, Deering nothing.
And I have to say, not questioning the referees on that call because they're down on the field. They do an awesome job. It's just, you know, we don't have instant replay. We would like to see how close it was. I mean, it certainly wasn't an Edelman-type catch in a Super Bowl. So,
Ramos. And it's Jack Karen and Carlos Mwako.
Because in that game, the referee got the call right to begin with. And, you know, when everybody saw the instant replay, they couldn't believe it. But that goes to show you how good these referees are.
And I believe one of the players was walking off the field saying that it was okay to their coach. And it's probably one of those things where it's not worth arguing.
And we have a player down for Deering, number 22, and we'll take a timeout.
And we're back. Joey Foley walking off on his own power.
Yeah. I mean, he initially, the only thing I could think that happened was, you know, maybe a leg got, you know, hit against another leg. And sometimes, you know, your shin bones there's not much stuff to protect them.
Ramos getting tackled by Jack Karen.
Yeah. Karen was like, I've had enough of this all night.
7 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in this game.
Good open field tackle right there. Because Ramos has been running up and down the field all game. That was a beautiful tackle.
And going back to injuries, going from the warm weather we had in the first game we taped at Messalonsky, it was pretty warm that day, to today where it's windy and cold.
Yeah, and that was up in Oakland, which is, you know, a good ride up the highway and beautiful facility. And you're right, it was nice and warm. I think I had a windbreaker on. I got my snow blowing winter parker on right now.
And so injuries can be, it's a pass intended for Caden Cataract.
And he was wide open too, and that ball just took off.
But injuries can definitely increase as the weather, as the temperature decreases, because your muscles are, you're shivering and your muscles are tense, and it's just one of those things where it's going to be a long punt. It's caught by Zade Smith, who is a freshman.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if these players can, you know, especially the freshman and sophomore, if they stick together by the time they're juniors and seniors, I think Darren's got a good team.
But it's about building a culture within a team, and that's so when you get incoming freshmen, you have your seniors that have been in this program for a couple years, and they know how the system works, and they can teach the freshmen. And so when they become seniors, they can teach the freshmen when they're seniors.
Yeah.
And it's just building that culture that, especially over the last couple of years where Deering's numbers have been low, it's hard to build a culture when you're constantly playing on offense, defense, and there was a head coaching change.
Well, and the other thing too is the pandemic really messed up not just football, but all high school sports, in the sense of, you know, trying to get together and play and everything that went with it, you know, and the schools being in remote and trying to just get together even to practice and all that stuff. And so, you know, we're coming out of that, and the kids are now starting to play again as a team. But as you said, the culture, they got to start to rebuild that again, and you know, build the teamwork, the camaraderie, you know, just to know where everybody's going to be on the field and have that sixth sense to know that.
LaChore is going to throw it. It's launched, and it's intercepted. Cataract still going. He's still going, gets a block, and he's just stopped at the 1. And that was Cristiano Silva on the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, the Darren player was wide open, and then the Biddeford player just come out of nowhere and ran in front of him and intercepted the ball. You know, I'm sure he saw that ball the whole way. And that's just a tough one for Deering.
Sorry, it was Pedro Lombi on the tackle. And so it's going to be 1st and goal at the 2 with 5 minutes and 17 seconds left to go.
Watch up the middle again.
And it's a keep by O'Driscoll. And
Santino Cavallero on the tackle for Deering for a loss.
Well, and Darren stayed home on that one. because the quarterback was trying to go up the gut, and they said no.
Second and goal.
So it's going to be second and goal. Driscoll throws it, and it's going to be a touchdown to Caden Catarat. So it was a 2-yard throw by Patrick O'Driscoll to make it 33-0 Biddeford.
And I wonder if they'll go for the 2-point. No, they're not going to go for the 2-point conversion, because then it would have been they would have been up by 35. They're going to go for the extra point. And you know, and
the extra point is good, so it's 34-0 with 4:44 left to go in this game. And we'll be back. And we're back. O'Driscoll will kick off.
Number 3, Miles Hibbard. Number 22, Joey Foley.
well, you know, in Biddeford, with the exception of that first, after the first touchdown going for the 2-point conversion, they've been kicking the extra point.
And it's going to be a penalty on the near side of the field. It's going to be on Pedro Lombi. And
We
have a
bit of
player down. So we'll be back to assess the penalty and the injury. And we're back.
trying to.
Number 7, Jake Samoilov was the injured Biddeford player.
Jake Samaloff was the injured player.
And so now didn't quite catch the penalty. I can only assume it was holding.
It looked like Pedro Lombi it was him and another player for Biddeford, and it looked like the Biddeford player got up and was clapping because of the penalty. So it could have been a holding on Lombi, or
The ball was carried by James Johnson.
it was James Johnson on the carry.
To the 21-yard line.
And the clock is at 4 minutes.
Elias Perry Pantelis on the
And
tackle.
we're getting players in from the bench as time runs down.
The 21.
It's Jordan DeBias in at quarterback. And it was a handoff to James Johnson.
James Johnson, the ball
So
carried.
Jordan DeBias and James Johnson are both freshmen.
Wow.
Antonio Taylor on the
So,
stop with
you know, it's not all a bad thing. You know, it's not a good thing that Darren's losing, but you know, you get some of the younger players in to see what it's like to play in an official game.
So DeBias in shotgun. Drops back. He's going to throw it. And
Tobias pass incomplete.
it was
Wait a
intercepted.
minute. One's saying incomplete, the other one's saying it was complete. An interception.
And it was Gino Mariello with the interception.
Fourth down.
Nope. Yeah, he's letting the announcer know the ball was intercepted.
Takes over on downs. The pass was intercepted.
And so it's 2 minutes and 44 seconds left to go in this game. Biddeford will probably just run the clock out.
Yeah, you would hope so. They're winning 34 to nothing, you know, and they might as well just, you know, just get a first down, let the clock run the ball.
It's going to be a handoff to Serois.
Santino Cavallero on the stop for Deering.
And Biddeford has a new quarterback. It's number 15, Thomas Kaminsky. So Thomas Kaminsky will take over for Patrick O'Driscoll.
So, you know, a lot of players are getting a chance to play.
It's going to be
Ooh,
Landon
it's gotta be
Serois
careful.
on the carry. It was Cristiano Silva on the tackle.
Cristiano Silva with help from Santino Cavallero.
Yeah, and he's limping off. You know, sometimes when you get a little exuberant on a tackle, you know, you can sometimes inflict a little bit of pain on yourself when you flip around like that.
It's going to be a drop back by Kaminsky, and it's going to be intercepted by Joey Foley.
Wow. So both replacement quarterbacks have now thrown a pick.
Intercepted by Deering's number 22, Joey Foley.
And so Deering will take over with 1 minute and 28 seconds left to go. Couple plays that they can run for the players that normally don't play.
So on the last two drives, we have 2 stats that are good and 2 stats that are bad. The replacement quarterbacks threw interceptions, but the defenders now have a stat of an interception.
Tobias hands it off to Bixler, and Bixler's dragged down by Landon Serois.
Landon Serois on the stop for Biddeford.
And there's just over 1 minute left to go in this game. Biddeford's leading 34 to nothing over Deering.
Well, and not that long of a drive for Biddeford to get home, just down the turnpike. Biddeford sharing their football facility with Kennebunk this season. Kennebunk replacing their whole sports complex.
It's a handoff. James Johnson.
The defensive stop by Maverick White. The gain is 5 yards out to the 37-yard line.
And
3rd and 12.
unless Deering runs another play, the clock will run out.
Yeah, let's see what they do. They may just, well, they're going to get another play in. Good for them. Just need to be
It's
careful.
going to be a throw by Tobias, and it's incomplete.
On the final play of the game,
And so the horn sounds.
Tobias pass intended for
Yeah, the only bad thing about that is if it got intercepted and run back. So,
incomplete.
And so the final score in this game is Biddeford 34, Deering nothing. Biddeford moves to 3-1, and Deering moves to 0-4 on the season. And there's really nothing you can do. I mean, Biddeford's a really good team.
yeah.
And so
Yeah, and as we've been saying throughout this game, Deering is a learning team right now. And so you're going to take your lumps as a learning team. And there's nothing to be discouraged here because every game they play, they're gaining. And so we'll see what happens the second half of this season. You know, they're trying their hardest. They're a little inexperienced, but you know, everybody gains experience after a while.
And especially in this wind, it could have been some players' first time being in this wind. And so they're just going to have to, in the future, if it's windy, just learn how to play through it. And you just, every game's a learning experience at this point. And you can't just put your head down in a loss. You want to take all the good things that happened in this game and apply it to future games.
I mean, this is our third game we've covered out of 4. And, you know, there's no quit in this team. You know, you can lose 34-0, but there's no quit. They work their tail off. And, you know, Biddeford just put up some early points on those first 3 drives, and they just couldn't get out of the hole after that.
And so the score line for Biddeford, it was a 2-yard touchdown pass by Patrick O'Driscoll to Caden Catarat. It was 2 touchdowns by Ivan Ramos, a 21 and a 5-yard run, and Colin Gregoire had a 5-yard and an 8-yard touchdown run. And so that makes up the 34 points plus a missed two-point conversion.
You know, and sorry to step on you there, Seth, but, you know, Biddeford on the first 3 drives scored 20 points. And then the rest of the game, Darren held that team to only 14 points. So that goes to show that they really stepped it up once they got the game going, the flow of the game going. And so that's very encouraging because those 20 points came up quick. And then the rest of the game, they made Biddeford really work hard for those other 14 points.
And so the final score in this game is 34-0. And saying so long, this has been a production of WPPS TV3 Portland Public Schools. Saying good night.
Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next game.